The power dynamics of language, power, and ideologies. The world moving to a homogeneous system, which language will this system be run under? And is there a universal language? How will collaboration look like? Will being homogeneous be able to preserve the different languages inherent in different countries? The top 3 languages that are considered to be international languages are English, French, and Arabic, and they are respectively in that order the highest ranking international languages. The purpose of language is to enable different groups to know where they belong, to be able to identify themselves, their heritage, and their ethnic groups. This means that without an indigenous language, people would lose their cultural identity and most probably their origin. Research studies have shown that learning to read and write in one's native language provides a useful foundation for students learning to read and write in other languages. That is, education is better actualized using the medium of the mother tongue as the language of instruction. So this means in order to preserve languages in different countries, the different education ministries will have to ensure that the medium of instruction in educational institution is in both the indigenous national language and an international language. UNESCO 2013 promotes mother tongue-based bilingual or multilingual approaches in education as an important factor for inclusion and quality in education. Globalization has made it difficult to preserve African languages or developing countries' languages, as there is a dominant international language, which is English. It is a tug of war between preserving indigenous languages and advancing a country to partake in global affairs. O'Call writes that multilingualism refers to speaking more than one language competently. An individual who's multilingual will normally have a dominant language that they use among the spoken language, dependent on the country they're in and which language is used as the medium of instruction. He continues to present the benefits of multilingualism as practices that enhance intellectual flexibility and creativity. Recent studies have indicated that children who grow up in a supportive environment speaking more than one language from an early age are more perceptive and intellectually flexible than those who speak one language. It is therefore beneficial to have many languages entrenched in an education system in order to get a solid and all-round human capital. Countries which advocate for multilingualism are preserving the culture of its people, promoting union and advancing them to be able to thrive globally. The aim of bilingual education is twofold, describes Krashen: to develop English while giving non-native English speakers the opportunity to learn in their native languages to better grasp English. Krashen believes that the dismantling of bilingual education was mainly due to misinformation to the public or bilingual education not adequately explained to the public. He suggests that the public must be informed extensively about the benefits of bilingual education. According to Sullivan and Schatz, past research and polling data indicate that most Americans favor making English the official language of the U.S. government. In 2016, the state of California lifted the ban on bilingual teaching, which was to be implemented in schools in July 2017, based on the number of parents per school who wanted a bilingual track. This shows clear dynamics of power. They are influenced by politics due to the fact that they are the officials who make these policies and have a great influence on how people vote. The majority population will obviously be the dominant group, enabling them to discriminate against the minority groups. There is strength in numbers, and therewithin lies the power. Dade's 2016 comment is quoted as follows: The politics of language signals formidable struggles around the world where the inextricable relationship of language, ideology, and power is clearly unmistakable. I agree with Dade that it is hard to separate the three elements he mentions, as these three are interlinked. Communication, which in this case is language, is linked to the ideologies of a country, its people, and its ways. This language is then determined official by the government, which is in favor of the majority population. A good example is that developing countries promote and advocate for English as the medium of instruction and indigenous languages as a second option. The rationale being that the developing countries need to be able to conduct economic and social affairs with developed countries. The contrast being that in developed countries like the USA, bilingualism isn't promoted even though they have high incoming immigration volumes due to the position of economic and social power that the US has. China is a multilingual country which advocates for preserving indigenous languages while promoting a united official language, which is Mandarin. In the past decade, the increase of English in Chinese education has rapidly increased with the aim to becoming a developed country in the current state of globalization. A recent Chinese article cited a lawyer questioning the importance of English in Chinese education, especially the compulsory English university entrance exams. An interesting point that was made is that the rapid rise of technology and translators being so accessible, is it necessary to learn English? I personally think the answer isn't a hard no, as there are many benefits of learning another language, especially one that is considered to be the most commonly spoken in the world. If a country is looking to move forward into participating and partaking in global affairs, it will be required, and that's where the power lies. It will be required to be able to speak in a language that the developed country is operating in.